Since Jonathan left house, went back to college, he continued to suffer from headaches, the soreness and stiffness in the neck, sensitivity to light, particularly fluorescent lights. And we continued to call and talk with Jonathan a couple of times a day just to check on him. And he shared with us along the way, what was happening, what was going on. But he thought, it'll get better, it'll get better. This just comes with getting hit in the head. It was about 6 weeks before we went back. Jonathan, as I said, saw the trainer, took the concussion test and failed, and so the school worked with him to set up things a little differently, so we wanted to give that some time. In the process, I'd already started making some phone calls to some concussion experts that we had with the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin at the Medical College of Wisconsin, talking to them to arrange Jonathan. And Jonathan called and said, I think I'm getting better, Dad. I don't think I need to go. And I think that was part of John wanting to protect himself, because he didn't want to hear what we eventually heard. And so we put that off a couple of weeks, and then he came home. It was in April, and I'll never forget coming in, and John's standing in our kitchen. He's white as a ghost, and he's trembling. And he looks at me and just breaks down and tells me that he had been talking with the professors at the university, with the dean, and with the concussion folks, and felt like he needed to take a medical withdrawal, that he needed to give his brain a rest. And that was hard for him to say, because here we are in 3/4 of the year, finishing his sophomore year, and he knew tuition had been paid and how difficult that would be. So it was nerve-wracking. And at the same time, that was the same time the terrible incident happened in Boston with the bombing. And I told Jonathan, I said, Jonathan, there's so many other worse things that could happen. Let's deal with this. And it was that moment we set up and made him follow through with seeing a concussion specialist and a physician dealing with concussions. And sure enough, he flunked the test again. And so they agreed that he needed to take a medical withdrawal and needed to give his brain a rest, and laid out a curriculum for us to follow over the next several months, and then would reevaluate him as to whether he could start school in the fall or not.